Good morning. Today I want to talk to you about the dangers of cooking with the sun. I'm a big fan of cooking with the sun, but there's something that you must know and understand when using a parabolic solar cooker. I want you to notice where the light is reflecting. Look at that piece of plastic. The light is on that piece of plastic. Look up there. You've actually got a focal point dot right there. Do you see that? That is strong enough to actually cause a fire if it gets more focalized. So I can move this around. I really want to focus that on the underside of this pot. However, because of the angle of the sun, that is kind of hard to do. This is the early morning. The sun is over there in the sky. It's not overhead. And the way for me to do that with a cooker this size, I'd have to really adjust. But the truth is, this cooker is way too wide to safely cook at this time, the same as I would if it was in the middle of the day. I have to really make adjustments. That adjustment is to make sure that the cooker is almost perpendicular to the ground. It has to have a very, very sharp degree. And if you notice, that pot is nice and shiny. That is the focal point. You have to pay attention to the location of the sun, and you have to set up the solar cooker accordingly. Now, you see under here, there's a lot of heat coming off of there. So I have it set up. It's going to start cooking. But you have to make sure, you have to make absolute certain that you won't have other focal points that could burn. Because that wouldn't be good if you burned things you didn't want to burn. Now, as I'm testing for this, I'm just arm's length away from this, okay? My face is burning. My face is hot. So that means that my face was feeling the reflection of this. So while that's cooking, I want to explain to you about the dangers. Well, I've already mentioned about the focal point, maybe causing a fire. Sometimes you don't even notice until you smell something burning. For example, do you see that black spot? Yeah, that happened this morning actually. So these things can get pretty dangerous. But I'll tell you what's even more dangerous. I was inside my house thinking, what? Is there a forest fire? What's burning? What is that? What's burning? I was like, what is going on? And I was just like, what is going on? I come outside, I check, I don't see anything, but I'm smelling burning. I go out front, didn't smell any burning there. Come back out to the deck, I'm smelling burning. Huh, that's weird. I mean, my parabolic cooker is covered, but apparently not all the way. There was a slight little sliver that was left uncovered, and it was focused directly here. Anyway, it was burning, and it was I was so afraid that I took some fabric, a very wet fabric, and wrapped it around this piece of wood, and then I took plastic, wrapped it around that, hoping to starve it of oxygen. I got it really, really wet, put the fabric on, which was already soaking, and then wrapped it in plastic in order to smother it. I was home, but I wasn't using the cooker. So over here, I was using it this morning, and I thought, sun's in the wrong. No. Sun was not in the position for me to cook on that. But it definitely, within seconds, this took seconds, because the reflection was in the wrong direction of what I needed. But I'll tell you what was even worse. Here's something that happened that was far worse. I came out one day. This is in the winter time. We had a lot of rain this year. I was rearranging the furniture, and I discovered these burn marks. What? Look at that. This was burned. It happened when I wasn't aware of it. And look, here's another. Here's another. And you can tell that these are at different times of the day, because they're different locations, possibly even different days. Now, whoa, that was really scary. Now, I'm somebody who keeps my cookers covered, but sometimes the wind will blow the covers off. You have to be very, very careful. What happened to me with this is that the sun wore out my cover, because I keep it covered in the sunny days as well as the cloudy days. And so the fabric on the cover got worn out in the sun. Wintertime came. The winds blew. The fabric ripped. I did not know. And this is why I am telling you, you have to be very careful. These things can be dangerous if you do not use them properly. Nobody likes to talk about that in the solar cooking world, at least not publicly. But I'm bringing it to your attention. This is not enough. That little bit there and that little bit there is enough to cause a fire. Now, this is completely covered. Completely covered. But there's no guarantee that the wind will not knock it over. Now, there's a much safer option. It's smaller. It's not as strong as the large parabolics, but it works. It works quite well. It folds down to that. Stand turns into a carrying case, as you can see here. The legs fold down, and it even has a handle. So this one is essentially the safer one. It's also easy to transport. What I do to keep this cover from blowing off, I simply take the smaller parabolic and I place it over this one. Keeps the dust off the bowl, for the most part. Keeps the dust off the bowl, and it's a lot safer all the way around. Since I've started doing this, I have had no problems with accidentally burning my deck. And there you have it. The dangers of solar cooking. It's a real danger. But when you follow safety rules, there's no danger about it at all. Until next time.